Hello YouTube, today we're gonna make a calculator in React. For this tutorial we're gonna use Code Sandbox, but if you want you can use Test Editor and you can install React with npm, or you choose one of the options to install React locally. I choose to use Code Sandbox because it's a bit easier to record this video also, and you can have one screen split into two small screen. Let's say it's not more screen, but it's just one screen split in two, for example. So you can just write a code here. Let's modify hello code sandbox and just keep hello, and you can see in the same time the modification. So I guess it's a very good idea to use this tool. This tutorial it's not beginner friendly because you need to know some basic knowledge about React, also some basic knowledge about JavaScript of course. So let's get started. So before to do anything else, we're gonna need to change the function app. I will just change in the class because I want to use a state. So basically we change a component which is stateless in the class component because we need to use a state. So let me change this one. When I say app extend, and we can put just component here. Also we need to just put a method which is called render. We're gonna put this method, and inside the render we need to have the return, otherwise it doesn't work. So it's just a basic React stuff. Also here we need to just add a component. We can just write in two ways basically. Oh, I just missed typing, sorry. Okay, yeah. So we can just write in two ways. It can be like this, and here we can just put a React component, and it's working. But usually I like to put the component up top here to just have a bit less to type in the very big application, instead to just write React that component over and over. If, for example, we want to create another class, let's see, this one is up to. Instead to put here React that component, we're gonna just keep just component there. So it's a bit easier. So yeah, okay, we have this thing. Let's delete h2 because we don't need it, and we're gonna just put instead hello just something relevant like simple calculator. Yeah, it's a bit better. For this application we're gonna use just a component, one more component beside the application. So we're gonna create inside here we're gonna create a folder which we're gonna call component, and inside the component we're gonna create another file which we're gonna call buttons. Okay, so for this one we can just let like this for a second, and we can just go in the button, and in the button we're gonna copy this guy, import the component from React, and we're gonna use here just a function component because we don't need a state here. So we're gonna say const, and we're gonna be a button let's put props because we need the props from the main component. And let's put a return, otherwise it doesn't work. At the moment we can just return a div with class name, and the class name should be calculator. Let's close this one, and we just export this guy with default, and we're gonna be button. Okay, so we're gonna get this component from this location to the app to the index. So instead here we're gonna add the button component. Of course it doesn't work because we need to just import this thing. So let's put this one. We're gonna receive an error, button is not defined. So to solve this error, we going in the top and we just import the button from the for the document, like this button from, and we just say it's from the component, and then inside the component we have the button. Yeah, something like this. It's supposed to work. Just give me a second. Oh, I forgot an S. There's also an S here as well. No. Maybe I mistyping the first one. Component. Oh, another S here. Yeah, supposed to be this one. And inside here, to just be a bit easier for us, let's add something like coming from the button component. Okay, let me add some space to be a bit easier to see. And inside here we're gonna close this div. Okay, and we just put H2 buttons. It's supposed to be enough. So now in the output we can see the simple calculator, which is coming from the index, and the button, which is coming from the button component. So now we can start to work a bit on the button component, to just add the button for the calculator, so it's kind of obvious. For this one we're gonna start with an input type to be text, for example. We need a class name to just target the CSS later. Let's say calculator screen. So if you are wondering why we're gonna use the input, is just to have the small screen of the calculator. This is in our case we're gonna use input, and the value we're gonna let empty at the moment. We're gonna say this one is disabled to don't let us to don't modify. So for example, if you want to try something here, you cannot you cannot type. And we're gonna start with another div. Let's see, class name equal with calculator keys. Let's close this div, and let's add the buttons. We had one buttons, and inside we can say the value is equal with plus. Also just add a plus here, so we have a plus button. Let's duplicate this one 4 times, and we're gonna put for the second one minus, and the third one we're gonna multiply, and divide. Okay, so we have all the buttons, I mean all the operate button. Let's start with more segment. Let me copy those three and just duplicate here. So let's start with 7. I don't know why I start with 7, I'm supposed to start with 9, but in the end this doesn't matter. Okay. No, I actually, maybe it's matter for the design, because I want to put the first 4 in the top, and after that 7, 8 and 9 on bottom. So let's keep going. The same stuff. We're gonna start with let me copy this one. We're gonna start with the 4, 5, 6. Okay, let me go to the 6. Let's duplicate this one and just start with another row 1. Here gonna be 1 as well, 2, 2, 3 and 3. And we're gonna need another 3 button, one button for clear and 1 button for equal, and we need 0 and point as well. So let me copy again this thing 3 times. I just put 3 button and just let a space between to just be a bit easier to visual all the button. Let's put 1 point here, a point as well, and for here value we're gonna say all clear, and the text we're gonna be AC. So something is wrong. Button press not defined. What? Okay. No, it seems okay. And also we need another button which you're gonna use for equal. I guess it's a bit easier to just copy, don't spend a lot of time typing again, because it's basically the same thing. Okay, we're gonna be equal. So at the moment we have all the buttons. Let's try to add some CSS to this component to just be looking a bit better. So we don't need this file. I'm gonna delete it, and inside here we have just a few rules of the CSS, but we're gonna add a few of them. So let's start with universal selector. Where is the star? Little star. It's kind of annoying because they have a keyboard with another layout, and they use a US layout, so it's like more like a guess. I'm just looking for a... Oh, I find it. So let's use the universe selector, and after that we're gonna use before on universe selector, and let's put another quotation where it was the little star. Come on, I find it. After as well. And let's say margin, we're gonna have 0 pixel, and padding 0 pixel, and we're gonna add box sizing which you're gonna put in inherit. Okay, it's looking a bit better, let's say. We're gonna set with a calculator. We're gonna target the main div from the application. So we start with border. Let's see, 1 pixel solid, and let's put black. Yeah. Border radius. Maybe we need it. No. Let's put the width. We have 400 pixel. Maybe it's enough. Okay. And let's target let's copy this one and just target let me check. You can just target the calculator screen. Let me copy from here and put here. It's a bit easier, so don't make a type mistake or something like this. So for this one we're gonna put the width to have 100% from the 400 pixel. Maybe it doesn't. Font size, I'm gonna use 5. 8. Let's see, 8 pixel. It's too big. Maybe let's see, 17. That should be okay. 17. Let's add border to have none. Let's add a background color. I already have a color for the calculator. I have the design in another screen, so I already know the value. So I'm gonna use this color, which is 25, 25, 25, and the text color inside, of course, to just match the calculator. I'm gonna use white text, and let's align the text to just start with the right part instead to start with the left part, and we're gonna use the padding. Let's see, padding right 20 pixel, and padding left 10 pixel. But why I use those stuff at the moment doesn't make sense. Let's keep like this. We don't need a padding. Okay, let's add more rows in the CSS, add buttons. So for this one we just can target the button, and each button, let's see, to have 60 pixel, right, and the background I guess already have the background color white, but we're gonna put anyway. Maybe we can add a background to the main div. Just create a nice effect if you want. Let's add a border radius. 3 pixel, I guess it's enough. We can just add more if it's needed. Maybe 5 pixel will be a bit nah. 5 I think is too much. Let's keep 3. We're gonna add a border. Let's see, 1 pixel solid, and the color already, like I said, already have the design, so I will copy the color, which is C4, C4, C4. Let's make the font size a bit bigger to IM. Let's add a color for the button. which I use free. Text shadow. Is 0 pixel, 1 pixel, and I'm gonna use a RPG, which I set 250, and the opacity we're gonna be 0.04 to just create a nice effect. Okay, let's add more rules on button hover. Let's target a button, and after that hover. Background. Yeah, this one's supposed to be a React tutorial. I mean, it's still a React with some CSS. So we have a nice background hover on the buttons. I mean, sometimes it's also good to know some CSS. I mean, if you know React and those kind of stuff, you need to have the CSS as well. So let me save this one and just check a bit here more. Okay. So let's add more rules on the calculator. I try to position this one in the middle. Let's add top 50%, left 50%, and translate we're gonna be minus 50% with minus 50%. I mean, it's one of the methods to put the element in the center. You can use another method if you like it. It doesn't matter. Let me put position absolute for this element. Oh, mistyping. Absolute. Alright. Something this doesn't look good. And let's add the border radius 5 pixels. Yeah. Also, let's add a HTML to just fix the font size. Usually what I like to do is just add the HTML and just add the font size box. Sizing supposed to be border box. Box initial, and after that we maybe we don't need this stuff. Yeah, just give me a second. I try to figure out what is the problem. We can add a font size here as well. The calculator. No. We already had. Let's inspect. Maybe I can just figure out. Okay. Okay, I just missed transform. It's not transform. It's supposed to be transform translate. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, now it's in the middle. It doesn't matter what you're doing with a viewport. The element we're gonna stay in the middle. I was a bit wondering what the fuck, so it was just a mistake. Okay, cool. So we fix this one. Maybe it's not a good idea to add a border. I want to have the angle of 90 degree on the top, so it's looking a bit more a calculator, very close to the design which I prepared. Okay, we have the color, text, rating, the button. We already had a font, hover button. Let me see exactly what element we have. We have calculator keys. For this one, maybe we can just use a grid to just fix a problem. Let's say display grid. Did I miss typing again? No. Display grid. And we're gonna use a grid template. Oh, it's starting looking much better. Template columns, repeat, and we're gonna use 4 and 1 FR. Ooh. See, which this grid is very powerful. Which one rule we can make a shit to looking like a calculator basically. So if you just delete this rule, it's looking like this. But if you add display grid, it's looking like this. So it's awesome. And let's see the grid gap between each button to have 20 pixel, yeah, and the padding, let's choose 20 pixel. It's supposed to be okay. Now let's take care about equal sign, but let me add first a class to this equal sign. So class name, we need a class to just target because I want to make a bit bigger and another color. So equal sign, let me copy the class from here to don't make a mistyping. So equal sign, we're gonna have the background color. Already have those color. I repeat, so 2E80, so we're gonna use this color, and the border color we're gonna use another color to just get a nice effect. Yeah, it's looking much better. And of course the color for this thing we're gonna have white color. Yep, white I'm gonna use 100%. and grid area I will say 2, 4, 6, 5, something like this. I will make a tutorial to explain a bit better the grid stuff, but at the moment we just keep this grid area. Let's make a hover effect. Sign hover. Is the same class? Yeah, it's the same class, so should be okay. Let's change the background color. Can maybe copy this guy and put this guy and just modify the value. I guess it's a bit easier. So put 4 E9 ED4. So when we move over, we have a bit lighter version. We can just target AC, the next one. So we have all here. Let's get this class all clear, and we're gonna put a background color. And for this one, we're gonna use this color. Already have the color, so it's orange, kinda orange, and border. Oh, something is wrong. It's supposed to appear here. Let me check the class. Maybe I just mistyping again. It wasn't a part. Oh, it's the same class. It's the same? Yeah, it's the same. Okay. Yeah, we have a problem here. The component is defined but never used. Okay, here we don't need it because we use a stateless component, so we don't need to use that. So yeah, we fix a problem. But the next problem is why it doesn't add. Okay, because he doesn't have a class, he have a value, which that value we need for the React, but for the CSS we need to add a class, so that was the problem. Let's put class name, and here all clear. So if you add this one, yeah, now it's working. Okay, we have orange kind of color. Let's add a border color. I'll put B03538. It's kinda orange reddish or something like this, and the color I'm gonna use pure white. Yeah, it's looking a bit better. Okay, for the multiplier and divide, I want to use a special sign to look a bit better. So I will use this sign for the multiply, and for the divide I'm gonna use this one. You can just find those stuff on the internet. So yeah, it's looking a bit better. And I would like to have those 4 buttons a bit different from the rest of the button. So I will just try to target those 4 buttons with a different class. Maybe it's not the right method. I could use child selector and just select the 4 of them, but let's keep simple at the moment. Let's use that class name, and we can duplicate this stuff here. Okay, here as well, and here as well. And for this one, we're gonna use something like operator. Did I write well? Yes, operator. And we just can copy this one 4 times, the each button. Oh, I save. Yes, and now we're going to the CSS and we're gonna target operator. Maybe I can just put under the buttons. Let's make a bit more sense for the CSS, and let's say operator. What? Okay, operator. Let's say color. I already have the color. 337 and key a key. Okay, so we have a bit different the button. I will just copy the background text shadow and box shadow for the button from my from Figma, because I already make the design, and I can just copy and paste some stuff. So let's see, box shadow and background image transparent to, yes. So I add those stuff which is coming from the Figma. Figma is like a Photoshop but free, something like this. Let me know if you want to make a tutorial about Figma as well. What we can do to just complete kind of the CSS for this part, we can go in the button and we can just try to put a value here. Let's see, 5, and we already have a value here. This doesn't look so good, so to fix these issues, we can go in input, but in our project I think I call this one calculator screen, and in the calculator screen we can just add a padding to push the text a bit on the left part, I guess. No, maybe left part. Let me try it. I'm a bit confused now right now. If we add 10 pixels left here, did we make a good stuff or a bad stuff? Let's see. Maybe let me open the inspector. So if I add is coming from this part, so it doesn't make any sense. So actually I need to add just a padding from the right part. So yeah, maybe 20. Yeah, I think 20 is perfect. So create background. Oh shit, we need to fix this one as well. Where it was this one, all clear. So it's getting the weird stuff because it's a button and we already have the hover for each button, but we can put a special hover just for this element. We already target this one, which is called all clear, so we can just add here an hover effect and supposed to be okay. Let's see, all clear, and how about background color? We're gonna have F1 73 77, something like this. Okay. Okay, everybody, I think I will split the video in more parts because it's getting a very long video, and I will coming back with a second part from the React logic. We have the design at the moment, it's kind of nice, and we can just change the value here. So the entire logic, we're gonna have the value here, which is coming from the button, and in the main one we just gonna create a function to just calculate the value, and we can just multiply or add or exactly like a calculator, so we're gonna not be a big difference. So let me know if you like those kind of long tutorial or you prefer shorter, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any question, please let me know in the comments. See you, bye.